So when it comes to losing, she's the biggest winner. I'm sitting here with Erinn Egbert. She's a fitness and health coach, but you'll remember her from season 8 of The Biggest Loser. It turns out that Erinn was the only one of the contestants there who not only lost weight and kept it off, but continued to lose. Erinn is here with us today. Good to have you here on The Good Doctor.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. You sent me some pictures. Give me the backstory to that picture right there.
I was 21.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so sick and tired of hearing, oh, you have such a pretty face, though. I'm like, oh, okay, well, what does that mean?
Oh, the though. What's the though about?
What's the though about? Where are you going to go with that? So.
What did you think of yourself around the time when you're a young woman like that, 21? Did you think, hey, I have a pretty face, but...
Yes, I said, hey, I have a pretty face, but I kind of want the whole package.
Yeah.
I want the whole package deal, so.
You also showed me this picture here. Now, is this a younger picture?
Let me tell you about this picture. Okay, This was my graduation party from Ohio State. So this is when Biggest Loser was happening, and I was getting ready to go the next day to the Biggest Loser Resort at Fitness Ridge.
And you killed it.
I know.
She killed it.
That was just the beginning.
Let me ask you, did you always have weight? Were you always overweight, even as a young child?
I started, from what my mother told me, I started gaining weight when I literally was in first grade, kindergarten. Yeah. And I was active. I played softball, I played basketball, but there was no monitoring of what I ate at home. Okay. Both my parents were overweight as well, so it just wasn't talked about. You know? So that, you can't outwork a bad diet, as we all know.
So that's a really important point. Point number one from Erinn Egbert today, you can't outwork a bad diet. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the other things that could potentially derail people when they're trying to lose weight, like life. Life happens. There were a lot of things going on outside of you just focusing on losing weight, weren't there?
Yes. Yeah. So going out for season 8, I was 21, and I was a student at the Ohio State University. And I saw where they're having a casting call for The Biggest Loser, and I always told my grandmother, so I watched the show, aimlessly all the time. I love Jillian Michaels. I was like, I'm going to get on there and I'm going to work out with Jillian Michaels. Yeah, so,
and you did.
And I did for a little bit. Anyway, so I went out for the casting call, and I went through the whole entire process, and at the last minute, they called me and said, we want to put you up against somebody, and just, we're going to switch it up this season. Yeah. So I went home, and I had 2 trainers, and lost 70 pounds from the time of the season. So I think that was the 6 months that they took the film and whatnot. For the next 2 years, I maintained that weight loss, and then I just kind of here and there, I would kind of yo-yo between 5 to 10 pounds, plus or minus. Okay. And then it wasn't until 2013 when I had to quit my job. I had to move back into my family's home because my mother started having issues. And, it was just, how can I say?
Well, that's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So, I had to move back home, start taking care of her. She was diagnosed with FTD, which is front temporal lobar dementia. She was diagnosed when she was 57. Yeah. And for a lot of people don't know, but it's a degrading disease. Yeah. So she was no longer able to care for herself, and I needed to be there to care for her. And so along with all this happening, I was scared, not only because, my mother's outcome, but that I was going to lose focus and, get into a depression, start eating more, start not caring, and just, that's what I was in fear of. And then I will never forget, I was watching infomercials one night, and I saw Insanity. I was like, wow, that looks really fucking hard. Right. I was like, that looks like a kick-ass cardio. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to give that a go. I'm going to try that. I can do it in my basement. I don't have to go to the gym. I don't have to leave. I can still be here with my mom. Right. So I started that program, did the full 60 days, and lost 30 pounds. I was like,
wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
But here's the thing,
This is on top of what you already lost.
Right. This is on top of what I already lost. But here's the kicker, is that I really didn't follow the meal plan precise. I just worked out, did the workouts.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, all right, I like this. So I was like, what else does Beachbody got, you know?
Yeah.
So then I went on from there, and then I you know, it's like this is what I call my snowball effect.
Yeah.
I started with one, and I just took my time and went, you know, to
level
the next
by level.
level by level,
Yeah.
and then started doing harder, and, you know, then incorporated more weight training and lifting. And essentially the reason why I started the Beachbody was because I needed to be at home. I wasn't a single mom. I didn't have kids,
Right.
but I was mom.
Yeah.
So I turned into the mama bear role, taking care of my mother.
Right.
And going into my basement.
Yeah.
And working out was me to just collect my thoughts, refocus.
Right.
And because, you know, being a caretaker or a caregiver, as anybody knows, it takes a lot emotionally, physically, and I needed something, and that was it.
And so you used the circumstance.
It wasn't even about losing weight, though, at
Yeah,
that point. I
yeah.
just wanted to keep from gaining it back,
Right.
and just keeping my sanity and just de-stressing.
Think about in the middle of your workout.
Yeah.
When you're in the middle of your workout, you're not thinking about who just pissed you off and you're mad, or you're feeling the emotional stress from taking care of somebody. You really go to a different place, don't you?
I do.
The reason is because we're not wired to be any other way.
Right.
It's a great way to give yourself a 30-minute, hour break from whatever else is happening
Whatever
in your
is
life.
going on.
And that's what you did every day.
Every day.
Did you think about metabolism?
I didn't think about metabolism at all.
To enjoy the full video, go to thegooddoctortv.com.